Hello and welcome back. Over the next few weeks, we're doing some pies. They're from the late 50s, early 1960s. I have two transistor models and two valve models. So in this part, I'm exploring the MR1 and the MR2, and I've got the MR2 working. So that is a bonus, but I'm still struggling with the MR1. That'll be all for today, and I'll get straight into it. I may not be able to do very much over the next, I don't know how long. I've got to go somewhere for a couple of days. It's jury duty, and I'm not supposed to tell anyone what I'm doing, but yeah. So if you don't see me next week, you'll know why. Okay, bye.
So here they are. They're pretty tatty. This one is looks like someone's actually had a go painting it at some stage and it's been scrubbed off. This does have its knobs and it actually tunes properly. The face isn't too bad. It's got a bit of a dent there. The dial is broken down underneath here on the bottom. Yes, this has definitely been painted. Yeah, why you would paint radio, I don't know. That's grey paint, that's cream paint. So maybe they didn't like the colour or something. This cable, these two wires have also been painted. Yeah. So what a screw missing there. We've got two screws there. The chrome doesn't look too bad on this one. And we'll come up okay. On the top it's pretty dirty, but that's par for the course. So if I decide to fix this one, I'll respray this. Maybe the original colour, I quite like that browny colour. This one is original. Doesn't have the paint, but it does have paint spots, of course. Every radio has paint spots. This dial is a bit worse for wear. It's got a big crack up through there. Not sure whether you can see that or not. Otherwise, it's pretty good. This is painted pink. I don't know why. This is the original gold colour, and this is actual gold on here, I believe. It's got a slightly different badge on it. Again, the grill is pretty good. Doesn't have dents in it or anything like that. This one has got just two screws. The other one had a screw up there. Okay. So I was intending to fix this one, and the other one was for spares, but it's not in too bad a condition, I don't think. So we'll pull this out of the case. I've also got a transistor set one, a later one, which is transistorized and uses the same basic cabinet, but it looks very different, as I'll show you in a moment. So this is the transistor version. Volume control here. And the tuning obviously. Has the same cabinet base at the back. Has a screw there, so, and someone's put a great big hole in that. It's also been burnt here, and it's missing its battery cover. So it's battery only set, but that should be repairable. Back to the red one. Okay, so we'll try and get this out of the cabinet. Ugh. That is pretty bad in there. Another way I can get the light onto it. There we go. Yeah, you can really see the dirt in there. So that's interesting. It's got the board connection pins. Not sure what that is off of. Bit of plastic. It's very strange. Or maybe it's off the knob or something. Okay. So, yuck. Keep on losing my pointer. In fact, there it is. So we've got paper cap there, one there, and one there. So that's going to be fairly straightforward to fix. Got the main electrolytic, another electrolytic, which will need replacing. And this is the base of it. Very modern, in inverted commas, design. Got a compliance plate there. So manufactured by Pi Industries Limited, Sydney, made in Australia. It'll need re-gluing on. Ooh, this case absolutely stinks. This one's been out in the garage for about 2 years. We're in the shed in storage for a couple of years, and The other ones were bought fairly recently, in the last 6 months or so. Okay, what I'm going to do is, first up, is pop it on to the transformer. Pi were one of the few manufacturers to actually use circuit boards for valve radios here. Don't think Philips did to any great extent. They went straight to transistors. I'm sure that plug is not safe. Certainly very, very crusty. It's on 80 volts. No dim bulb lighting up. Ooh, that's spinning the smell. Not sure if that is some sort of glaze on it or something, deliberate. But that seems to have, that doesn't sound very healthy. Or smell very healthy, I should say. Might be just dust burning off, but we do have bits of paper in here. Okay, we'll go a little bit higher. So that's 130 volts. No sound or hum or anything at the moment. It's 180. Hard to tell whether the globe is glowing. Ooh, this really stinks. I would think that the transformer is burnt out. Is it getting warm? There's no glow from the valves at all. Okay, we'll go the whole hog and hopefully nothing explodes. Getting a slight glow from the dim bulb. We're up to 210 volts, so that should be working. I can't see any glow, but the valves are so filthy. Let's try the heat on the transformer. Stone cold. Now these have a metal front, so I'm not going to pick this up to any degree. There's a towel. All right. I know that shouldn't be live, but oh, the globe is working. So we do have an operating transformer. So I would think that the rectifier valve has perhaps gone. Let's test the rectifier. Was that making a noise then? Yep. Definitely making a noise. And the rectifier is actually hot. Right. So it's time to test valves. All this could be is a dead valve or a shorted capacitor. That looks really bad, that one. Okay, so I'll pause here and then I'll be back. Right, so I haven't actually tested that valve. but there was a good 6V4 sitting next to the tester. So let's try this. I've inspected a little bit more, and I found this in there, which is manufacturer special products, permanent magnet speaker. This is pretty standard valve lineup for the 60s. It's the same as in other radios which I've worked on. So what I'm going to do then is just try it with this valve and see what happens, but some of these valves look pretty bad. In fact, I'll pull this one out, and as you can see I doubt this would be working. In fact, what I might do is just go and get another one. For once, I actually have a replacement valve which matches up. So this is what it should look like, and this is what the one on the radio looks like. Bit of a difference. Both Mallard valves, surprisingly. So we'll see if this does anything. There is a pretty bad capacitor right next to it, so I would imagine this radio has very much overheated. It must have been somewhere very hot, because some of the wax in the tuning coils, the IF cans I should say, is actually melted. So yeah. Okay, let's try this one very quickly. And there's absolutely no glow in the dim bulb, and the voltages come up. It's still no go. What I've decided to do is recap it completely, because there is some really burnt . Well, curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to pull this one apart. This is an earlier one, the MM1, and the other one seems to be an MM2. So, and this one is working just fine.
Of transport infrastructure and the suburban
is going down the. They were humiliated on the world stage.
But It's My Party wants to take it up, and it rushes to the lead. Shinjuku comes across, and the big team Booming Edge. Booming Edge just hitting as they go down to the straight. Curvaceous. Think again moving up wide on the outside of Miss You 2 and Proud Value on the bench.
So what I'm going to do is swap the cabinets around. No, maybe not. I think, I don't know what to do with this one. The case inside has been sprayed grey. Let me just turn this off before I electrocute myself. Yeah, this one has had the case inside sprayed grey. So I don't know whether they just made all the cases this colour and spray painted them. They can't have done that. This was when Technico was still in existence. This one has the phono input down there, but it doesn't have a chord input, which is really quite bizarre. Trying to get this through. And this has, I think it might be an AWA speaker, an MSP speaker maybe. It certainly looks like an AWA. But this one has been repaired. So we've got that capacitor. I've lost my pointer yet again. Where did I put that? This is getting crazy. I'll just use this. So this has been replaced probably in the 70s. Looks like a Panasonic cap, actually, that colour. I can't see any branding on it. And it's also had a number of resistors replaced, bizarrely. Don't know what they've done there. And they've done something strange there as well. It's also got the mustard caps in it, there and there, but I can still see a paper cap there and a paper cap looking very tied down there. They've actually bridged the phono input there. We can see that right down there. So yes, but this one is pretty poor. Although this would clean up quite easily. I mean, all this paint, this is just cardboard. So I could probably get some thick cardboard and remake that. There isn't too many things in there. There's a mica cap there and so there's a rivet there, and that's about it really. It's just a matter of cutting it out. So I'll see if I can get some really thick cardboard from Lincraft or Spotlight or some crap shop like that these days. And yeah, it's a pretty sad state though. And of course that is, I'll just go around this way. That's repairable, well, not repairable, but that's replaceable easily. I can easily get a piece of Perspex cut for that and make up a dial quite easily. The chrome on there is a little bit, how's your father? But it's pretty good on the top there. Of course down the sides and underneath won't matter. Yeah. I was only going to make one radio out of the two. But it seems that you can make things out of anything, as long as the major parts aren't blown up. And even then you can replace everything. Yes, I decided to have a quick go with the Brasso. Apart from the lot, there we go. Now this almost looks like the Philips that I did a couple of months ago, early in the year, and I re-spray painted that one. Yeah, this looks almost carmine red, and it's beginning to polish off pink. So this is very interesting. It's sort of initially I thought it was just like Bakelite or something like that, but it's actually, yeah, pink. So this has got a red tinge to this brown. So I don't know what they called this. This doesn't seem to be listed anywhere. Yeah, down the bottom there, it's definitely reddy colour. I don't know whether you can see this and whether the colour accuracy on your device will pick this up, but yeah. So I've started to clean off there, and yeah, what I'll do is I might just dip this in something or other to clean all this paint off here. This has definitely been someone's tried to clean this all off unsuccessfully. I mean, it's never going to be presentable in its raw form without a lot of work. These scratches, they're not too deep, but it's going to take a lot of work, and there's no guarantee that it's going to polish up. So what I'll do is I'll just paint it with that nice bright red. So this is where I've cleaned it down here. I've also put in a couple of new caps, electrolytics, and a new paper cap down there. So what I'm going to do, and I shouldn't have cut this off at the moment, but I'll connect up a power cord to it, and I'll test it and see what we've got. We've only got 2 more caps to do, but this is going to take a long time to actually clean. Took me almost an hour to clean all that area out because I had to be very careful not to rub the numbers off. Yeah, this looks remarkably like a B15 with the components they've used and the layout. I'll have to look at the circuit diagram. But it's really quite bizarre. These are all AWA parts. That's an AWA part. I think, well, the speaker definitely is. Whether they designed it and then decided they didn't want to use it or something like that, I don't know. So it's it's quite bizarre. I mean, these are all sort of sideways and crazy angles to stop the interference with each other. But yeah. Okay, on with the show. It's working quite well, and go to the other end of the dial. It's quite stiff and needs lubricating. So this is Melbourne station, ABC Melbourne. Not sure what's stopping the lazy Susan moving around.
One of Canberra's most powerful public servants, who's stepped aside after a whole range of text messages allegedly sent by him to a Liberal Party power broker.
There's a couple more capacitors to do. Turn this off. And they're, well, one of them is going to be very difficult because it's well under this switch down here, and so it's right down inside there. I'll move this out the way. It's right down inside there. So I don't know, you can just get a glimpse of it there, that brown khaki thing. So that'll need to be changed because it's leaking at the other end. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that because this volume switch is soldered in at the bottom. Yeah. Okay, I'll work it out and I'll be back after dinner. I've finished putting the caps in, and let's move this aerial bit. But you can really see how bad they cleaned things up back in the day. Don't know whether you can see that from the reflections, but it's pretty disgusting. It's all flux and things like that down there. So these were hand soldered, but they obviously didn't bother to clean all the flux up. This gives you an idea of the flux on the bottom of this. So yeah, it's just a matter of cleaning, doing this, spraying it, the toothbrush, sometimes I use a metal bristled brush, but I don't want to damage the tracks on this, so I use this toothbrush or another one. I haven't actually used a toothbrush for decades now. I always had an electric one, so I have to buy these. They're becoming a bit hard to get. These days I buy the ones with the bamboo handle. So what I'll do, so that's clean, and I just go over this like so. It's a bit hard to get around the valve sockets. Of course, I've re-soldered all the joints, so we don't want dry joints. This will be well over 60 years old now, probably coming up to 65. Of course, some of this is cigarette smoke. Take all these bits off. It's getting there. A couple more goes and it'll be done. So I'll be back when I've cleaned it all off and put the aerial back on the back, and then we'll test it. Right, that's sort of finished. I don't want to go too far because I don't want to lift the tracks on the radio. Another bit of gunk there. And there too. I've also cleaned the circuit board on the top, being very careful not to erase any of the numbers. I couldn't get in some of the places. Ideally, you would take this completely apart and dip this in the cleaner, but I don't think anyone's going to see this. So that goes on the back there. There's a couple of plugs. This is very nicely integrated. There's these little plugs everywhere. You don't have to solder the wires. Put this valve back in, even though it's a bit black like the other one. In fact, no, what I'll do is I'll get the valve out of the other radio. This nice new one. There we go. And this one, of course, covered in paint. And we'll move these tools. And make sure that's still connected properly. Yep. These are fantastic, these cable things. They just pull up like that, stick the wire in, then push it down, and it really locks tightly. See if it still works. Should do. Let's bring the voltage up. So that's 210. And the light globe's on, so. And the globes, the bulbs are glowing. All the valves. We have sound. Pop this back on again. It needs re-glowing.
On the 23rd of June 1916, but there were some delays that were caused by the outbreak of the First World War. The British government ordered that all the shipping workers had to actually suspend work on civilian vessels and only build for military purposes. So there was quite a bit of a delay. And so what happened was, after completion, the ship was then converted to become an aircraft carrier, becoming HMS Nairn.
So I've got
become a civilian ferry.
the lights on, so
Did it actually fulfil that role?
Oh yes, yes. Spent the whole of the war as an aircraft carrier. We've got some great photos in the museum of the ship fitted out with what's called dazzle paint. So dazzle paint is where they sort of paint odd-coloured zigzags all over the ship. And it's a weird form of marine camouflage. It's not actually camouflage to stop people spotting the ship. That's a bit hard, it's quite big. But it can confuse the aiming mechanism for people aiming things at the ship. Because you can't see what the profile is. You can't see what the ship actually looks like because it's coloured in weird shapes.
Free at your App Store. Premier Greyhound Racing. Every Thursday night at Sandown Park and Saturday night at the Meadows. Watch live and free on the Watchdog app.
Next event at Sandown Park Greyhounds is the fourth and final leg of the quaddie, and
so it's working well, it seems. So tomorrow I'll finish cleaning up the face of it a bit, and I won't go down the shop tomorrow because it's a public holiday. A stupid football parade in Melbourne or something like that. And I mean, the shops may be open up here because it's not really a public holiday up here, but if not, I'll do it on Saturday, and I'll kick on with the case. Oh, geez, no pun intended on that kick on. Move on with the case. So, yes, all for a silly football game. This may look white on the camera, but it's pretty yellow, and I'm going to avoid painting it at this stage until I can get a new dial or what have you. So let's try doing this. The speaker is over here, 4-inch jobby. So we'll see if we can clean, yeah. It's not too bad. It's more dirt than anything. This isn't as bad as the other one. Now that needs re-chroming. It's beginning to lift off. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. So I'll continue to clean this. It's not going to come up all that well, I don't think, but we'll see about this knob. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Although it's not quite as bad as the inside of the radio was. So I'll see what I can do, but I'm not expecting miracles from this. This is the finished radio. It's looking quite spiffy. I still need to do around the front there. Looks a hell of a lot better than what it did originally. I could probably redo that, but I'll just wait for this to thoroughly dry. So this is the back of it. The base is pretty scrappy. I'll just take you over to the other camera and have a look at it from the top. You can see it's pretty patchy because the plastic base was so bad. You don't notice that patchiness in the normal light. And I haven't finished polishing it or anything like that. But I'll wait until I can get another dial or make up some dials, because this one is pretty much had it. And the other one, while a bit better, as I said before, this has this big crack in it. So what I'm going to do is have some made up, and I'll make some transfers for it, and then paint the back of it. And also haven't lubricated the dial, have I?
The end of the season, the 4-point win over the Brisbane Lions, going down.
So that's Melbourne 774. It was getting bendigo before, but it might be because the lights are on. Oh, there it is.
Gold, Central Victoria, your leaders in local. Listen anywhere you go on the free iHeartRadio app. Your news now.
Hello, it's Rob the Cleaner in the newsroom. 17 people were tossed out of the AFL Grand Final.
Yeah. Not too bad for such a wrecked radio that cost $2, but I'll be back next week maybe. I've got something on which I legally can't talk about. That's jury duty. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll be back either next week or in a couple of weeks.